Hey people, welcome to the Vishwas Mudagal Show. Today we are coming up with the sixth episode, and I'm super excited because this episode is something that is very close to my heart and super exciting as well. Today we're going to talk about Buddha and his stories, and I'm going to bring two stories that really influenced me, and they're super interesting, exciting, and also will leave you with at least some amount of inspiration, motivation, and some kind of a moral, or forget about moral, but at least it is going to teach you something that is practical in your life that you should always try to imbibe in your life. So let's see what these stories are, and these are very exciting. Okay, so just hang on. So immediately after this break, we're going to start with the first story. Alright, now let's listen to the first Buddha story, something that is super exciting, but let's go back in time and let's visualize this. Alright, great. There was one time when Buddha was resting while traveling, and he said to his disciple, I am thirsty, can you bring me some water from the lake? So Buddha was traveling with his disciples, and then he decided that okay, he's thirsty and then he wants some water. And there was a lake nearby, and this disciple goes near the lake, and just when he is about to collect some water from the lake, there is a bullock cart that goes on this lake. And when the bullock cart goes on the lake, and the entire water becomes muddy. Thus he comes back and then he tells Buddha, the water is very muddy, I don't think we can drink it. So Buddha smiled. And then after half an hour, Buddha asked again, disciple, go and get the water from the same lake. So he went back again, the disciple, and still the water was muddy. He came back again. So after some time, again Buddha asked him, go and get me the water from the same lake and bring it back. And this time when the disciple arrived, he observed that the water was crystal clear, not even a hint of any mud anywhere, crystal clear. So the disciple collected some water and he brought it back to Buddha. And then when Buddha looked at the water, and then he looked back at the disciple. Then he asked, what have you done to clean the water? That's what Buddha asked. And the disciple was very confused because he had not done anything. So the disciple said, I have not done anything, but still the water is clean now. So Buddha looked at him and then explained, what you did was you waited and let it be. Therefore, the mud settled on its own and now the water is clear. And then he said something that we should always remember in life. Buddha said, your mind is like that too. It's just like water. When it's muddy, you have to let it be. Give it some time. Don't be impatient. So the bottom line is, everything will pass on its own as long as you don't hold on to it. This is the message that Buddha has left us, because most of the time in our lives, we're always clinging to something, holding it from the roots. We're not letting it go. And these things, these negative thoughts, these emotions, they become the bane of our lives. They become the baggage that we carry all around. They make our mind muddy. They don't let us think clearly. So, just like how the disciple waited, Buddha waited for the mud to settle down and clear water to come back again, I urge you to follow this message from Buddha and then just wait in life. When things are like, so many things are going on and a lot of pressure and a lot of negativity, a lot of things that you feel that you have to do and things you're not able to do it, all you have to do is just wait please be patient. And remember, patience is a virtue. And it's true. So sometimes you cannot force things. And then people say that one thing, right? So you have to wait, but everything has its own time. You need to give time for things to settle down in life before you come back and then spring back or rise back like a phoenix. So let's leave this episode with this thought that everything will pass on its own as long as you don't hold on to it. But just wait for another exciting story about Buddha. So wait for it after this break. We're going to come back. From the ashes of the world, a hero must rise. This is the concept of the best-selling novel that I have written, The Last Avatar, Age of Kalki trilogy, the first book. So I would recommend pick it up from Amazon or Flipkart and get your copy right now. Alright, welcome back. Now we're going to start with the next story of Buddha. So let's go back in time and again visualize this whole story. Alright? Okay, here goes. Two men visited Buddha to become his disciples. The first man said, I am thinking of moving to this town. What is it like? And he asked Buddha. So Buddha responded with another question to him. What was your old town like? Buddha asked. So the first man thought about it and then he said, it was dreadful. Everyone was hateful. I hated it. Buddha said, this town is very much the same. I don't think you should move here. This is what Buddha said. The first man then left and then the second man came inside. The second man asked, I am thinking about moving into this town. What's it like? Second man also asked the same question because both of these men, they wanted to be his disciples. So this time Buddha asked the same question back to the second man also. What was your old town like? So this time the second man replied, it was wonderful. Everyone was friendly and I was happy. I just needed a change right now and that's the reason I wanted to come here. And then I want to be your disciple also. I want to learn from you. And Buddha smiled. And then he said, this town also is very much the same. I think you will really enjoy it here. So please come and become my disciple. So, and then the second man also left. And all his disciples who were sitting around him, they came to Buddha and asked, we are very confused, but how is it possible that first man you just sent him away and the second man you told that he can come and join you and then he's going to like it. So that's when they inquired about the two different answers for the same question, Buddha explained, you bring what you are and what we seek is what we find. So the bottom line is what Buddha said, our success and our happiness lies in our attitude. If we are determined to be unhappy and we are looking for reasons to quarrel, that's what we get. No matter where you go, that's what you get. Similarly, if we try to find positivity and goodness, we will be rewarded with the same. No matter what we do in life, no matter where we go, if we are filled with positivity, we will find positivity all around. No matter how bad the circumstances are, no matter how bleak the consequences are, you will find a ray of hope. You will find a silver lining in the darkest of the cloud. So that's exactly why we need to be like the second man that Buddha asked the question. Basically, if we are happy, if we leave behind all the negativity and we come forward only with the positive thoughts, we will spread positivity, we will bring success wherever we go, and we will energize everybody around us with that kind of a positive vibe and aura and energy. That is what is important. So let us understand this, that Happiness lies in our attitude. If you are unhappy, you will make everybody unhappy. If you are quarrelsome and looking for fights, you will pick up fights no matter where you go. No matter which paradise you go to, you will find it like a living hell. Alright? So with this thought, I'm going to end this episode of Vishwas Mudagal Show. But remember that Buddha, these two stories that Buddha has about the Buddha, that these two stories have been told, this is something that we should always remember in our lives. Try to inculcate these, because these are super cool, super chilled, few little things that we need to do in our lives, small little corrections about our attitude, about our perception, about our basically the way we look at life. That is what we need to course correct. So let's make this a resolution. I'm not saying a resolution, but something that we can take home and then try to implement in our lives. And do not forget to ask me questions, to respond to my stories on Instagram or my posts on LinkedIn, or comment on my videos on YouTube and reels on my Instagram with your questions and suggestions on what you guys want to listen in my podcast. Tell me your stories, something that I can feature on my podcast. I really would love to have you on my podcast, or feature your story, or talk about you, and whatever you guys want to listen to. I'm all ears. So let's just wait for the next episode. I'm going to be bringing yet another episode next week with something super exciting and something that we can take home and imbibe in our lives to make our career and our personal life amazing and something that we can be proud of. All right. So take care and have a great week ahead. This podcast is powered by GoodWorks Angel Fund. GoodWorks Angel Fund is India's leading early stage VC fund. And for all the entrepreneurs and startups out there, log on to goodworksvc.in for your funding requirements.